Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. The following 5-second compilation would basically be a summary of my initial thoughts and feelings regarding the 35mm f2 lens by Fuji. That just summarizes how I feel about the 35mm f2. If you understood that video, no need to watch it further. This is not going to be a tech spec video, rather my initial thoughts and impressions why I feel so strongly about this lens. So we're going to get up close and personal with this lens, and I'm going to give you my thoughts whether this lens is worth your time and your money. Okay, so in terms of build quality on this lens, I'm going to be straightforward. Build quality and design. Let's start with design. It's not a very good looking lens in my opinion. It's very tiny. Not that that's a bad thing, but just for me personally, I don't like smaller lenses. And you know, when I got this lens for the first time, I thought to myself, going with this dinky little lens on a professional paid job, you know, I'm going to hide it in my bag and take it out later. That's how I actually feel about this lens in terms of design. As you can see there, it's more thicker towards the mount and it tapers off towards the end. I prefer my lenses the other way around, that being, you know, thinner towards the mount side and tapering out on the edges. And therefore you can actually see I've got some step-up rings on mine, just to give it that look, you know, just to even it out basically. Build quality on this lens is a different case. It's built solid, built very well. It's actually got weather sealing right around, so it's got a weather gasket right around there. Then also the dinky little lens hood it comes with, it actually screws onto the barrel, so you can't use any ND filters or any filters whatsoever while having the lens hood intact. You need to remove it in order to use any filters on this particular lens. It's got a clickable aperture ring, and very satisfying clickable aperture ring. And also the manual focus is also very well dampened. Just like all Fuji's lenses, it feels the same. I just wish it was thicker. So overall build quality for me is perfect. There's nothing to complain about. The only thing I can complain about, for me it's subjective, is the size of the lens. However, having said that, that's just a minor negative from my side. Overall build quality is superb and there's nothing to complain about. In terms of autofocus for photo, it's extremely reliable and very quick. However, in video mode, it's a completely different scenario. Example, focusing from near to far, it's not very confident, and also I find the stepping to be very exaggerated. Not to say that one can't use it for video in autofocus. I'm sure if you maybe play around with the settings on your particular body that you might get a better result than what I currently have, but I don't think it's going to make a big difference. Therefore, I didn't tinker with that. Reason being, the stepping is quite exaggerated, like I mentioned earlier, on this lens compared to, example, my 16-55, where there's very little stepping, or there's more confidence on the 16-55 going from subject to subject. There's a couple of clips I'm going to put up over here, and that I actually done with the 35mm f2 and the Fujifilm X-H2S, which I'm currently using now. And that whole sequence I actually used in manual mode. This is actually a used copy that I currently have, and I got it at a very good price. However, I do find that there is some autofocus noise. You can hear the motors when going from near to far. Now if I search that on YouTube, most of the guys are saying that it's actually a very quiet lens. However, my case is different. You can comment down below if you've got a similar issue with yours, but I find mine to be not noisy, but it's not silent as well. I don't know if I'll be able to demonstrate here. Let's go from this is still silent actually, you know. There's some days it's louder than the other. But anyways, regarding autofocus for photo, I find it to be excellent. For video, yes, you can use it. However, be wary that, you know, it's not going to look very smooth. You're racking from close up to far, or vice versa. Real world usage to me is way more important than test charts and brick walls. However, that has its place. I watch those videos in terms of corner sharpness, center sharpness, and the like. However, for me personally, real world usage is way more important. So I'll use the lens over a period of time and then make a decision based on the images that I've captured over that period of time. So I wasn't expecting much in terms of image quality with this lens. I was always led to believe that the bigger the glass, the better the image quality. However, I can confidently say that is not the case with this particular lens, and in this case, size does not matter. Over a period of time, I've noticed that this lens has character that I really appreciate. Now, when I had the 50mm f2, I never had it long enough to be able to make a judgment. It was a sharp lens. However, the 35mm f2, it seems to stay on my Fuji X-T2 or my X-H2S more often than not. Even with a terrible video autofocus, it still stays on there. Reason being the character that I get from this lens. Now, the 16-55, like I mentioned in my previous videos, it's a very clinical lens and a very sharp lens. Not saying that this lens is not sharp, it is sharp, but however, it still has, you know, a character that I appreciate in a lens. I'm not just looking for sharpness, corner sharpness, center sharpness. There's a beautiful character about this lens that I can't put my finger on compared to the 16-55 or even the 90mm f2. Me personally, I wasn't expecting it from this lens. So in combination with the smooth autofocus bokeh that this lens produces, along with the character and the sharpness and the 3D pop this lens produces, it's got to be one of my favorite Fuji lenses of all time. So just one other thing I forgot to mention in terms of image quality. Now I find that the 35 f2 has a highlight roll-off that I don't find on any of my other Fuji lenses. Now I don't know if that is perhaps coming from the X-H2S. Now I'm not sure if it's the case with the X-T2. I haven't done a comparison with those two. However, that being said, with this particular lens on the X-H2S, I find the highlight roll-off to be very gradual and very pleasing. I haven't noticed it as much with my other Fuji lenses like I've actually noticed it with this lens. What I would say is for people that, you know, they've got a kit lens with the XT body and they're looking to upgrade or step up to a nice, decent portrait lens that can be used in a variety of situations, I would definitely highly recommend the 35mm f2. Even a 50mm on my full frame body, I seem to use it a lot, whether in pay jobs or non-pay jobs. So definitely coming from a kit lens, 35mm f2, having that alongside with your kit lens, it's going to be a great add-on or a great combination with that kit lens. Don't judge a book by its cover, especially when it comes to Fuji lenses. This lens is tiny but very powerful. Combined with the bokeh, highlight roll-off, crispness, and character this lens offers, it's a very versatile lens, and I would highly recommend it to anybody looking for a 35mm or 50mm full frame equivalent. So if you like this content, hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, comment down below if there's any questions regarding this lens and what I've mentioned in this video. Comment down below. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one.